I decided to give my viewers their own Terraria server to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers. During the time building to this point, I think I built a pretty nice community on my Discord, link in the description. But partially for fun, and partially because I'm lazy, I made it an Anarchy server, and considering how Terraria has so many tools that tear through blocks like butter, I'm sure the conclusion would seem obvious to anybody. But I was hopeful that my Discord community would create something beautiful. Boy, was I dumb! Before starting the world, me and my friend Snakeboy decided to build a few structures we called shrines that had traps, challenges, and loot inside of them. Nothing too crazy, but things we knew would be limited, especially since the server was only on classic difficulty. It was only on this difficulty setting because I didn't know how to change it at the time, but also because I thought it would be interesting to see what would happen, because bosses would now only drop one set of loot no matter who was involved. I thought that this might give some people more power than they deserved, which would be fun, but at the same time, the bosses would be weak enough that people could likely solo them, even with other people on. Once we finished the shrines and it was daytime, I opened the server to my viewers, and a few of them started filing in. One shrine nearby boasted a slime staff and some other nice getting started gear, but it also had some landmines spread around it because I was drunk on power. This was the first time I've ever gotten to admin a server, and let me tell you that the power went straight to my head. After the first person fell for the mine, he and another guy made it to the first shrine at the same time, and I hid the special items in a barrel, figuring that people are less likely to open a barrel than an average treasure chest, thus hiding the stuff in plain sight. Turns out, it was a pretty effective strategy for one person, but the remaining guy, Cactus, spotted the special loot.
What the f is this?
On the other side of the world, a guy named Payne came across the desert shrine, the first one I had built on the server. He carefully navigated through the traps and managed to loot every single chest. Granted, they aren't exactly the hardest traps to get around in the world, but I still think they turned out to be maybe a little too easy. Cactus also tried to murder me with my own mines, so...
What is this?
But he did end up finding the Tundra Shrine, which was hidden in plain sight, kinda like the barrel earlier. Maybe you're detecting a pattern on how I like to hide things. The rest of the first hour or so since launching the server, and things were relatively peaceful outside of me placing landmines at people's feet. A fun little treehouse was built, Payne started looking for the shimmer in all the wrong places, the first boss was defeated, the elaborate structure built directly over spawn was discovered almost an hour of nobody not noticing, and things were going relatively smoothly. We also realized we could summon dungeon guardians and bring them around to harass people, which was also fun. But 2 hours in, and I decided to give my little lab rats, viewers, some time to mess with the world without my watchful eye. Next time I hopped on, and there were 2 buildings at spawn, which were pretty promising. I'd expected the entire world to be covered in a pool of lava at this point, and I was feeling pretty good about my nice little Terraria community and how well they would treat the world. Some ways down the elevator, and someone had made a mob farm. One of the players, a fellow Terraria YouTuber named Colt Colossal, also mentioned he had found the ocean shrine I had made, the one I was most proud of out of all of them. I just wish I had remembered to save a copy of the world before letting my lab rats on, but oh well. Surprisingly though, despite the progress they had made, nobody had come across this really cool underworld shrine that Snakeboy put together. But despite not having searched the entire underworld, they decided to fight the Wall of Fresh. Again, this is day 1. I know it's not really that hard, but still! And since the world was on classic difficulty, this is how long it took for them to melt the Wall of Fresh.
Just start placing landmines along their bridge here. No. Sand gun!
Oh my goodness.
Yes!
What an accomplishment. Hard mode, here we are. But this was also the first time where the lack of treasure bags actually made a difference. A guy named Copper Commander managed to grab the loot first, and, naturally, the power went immediately to his head. Exactly as planned. Copper Commander also proved to be just as chaotic as I can be sometimes. The thing is, most of the people on the server at this point didn't have full or even half health or anything from the Wall of Fresh. So despite it being classic mode, it took them 10 full minutes to finally kill Queen Slime, and of course, quite the large graveyard was formed. This was the purest example of anarchy on my server, and I had expected it from the start. Also, a guy named Entoma made this really cool house. Tell Entoma how cool this is in the comments. But all of this, again, was only day 1 on the server. There was no way anything would happen in between now and the next morning when I got on, right? The next morning, I hop onto the server to discover that there were only 2 pillars left before Moonlord was summoned. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. Fish and Copper Commander were absolutely cruising through the game and weren't waiting for anybody to get to the end. So a couple of pillars, a jungle that somebody had destroyed, and a Moonlord later, and the credits rolled. It was day 2, and Moonlord was defeated. The server was supposed to be open for a month. Why did I assume that my viewers wouldn't absolutely cruise through the game? I don't know, but of course, they didn't stop there. Later on day 2, I came on and there was a rather large hole at spawn. But whatever, it's just a single large hole and you knew it was going to happen. There's still plenty for them to do on this world.
What the? Oh, this house is gone. How much of this world is left? Oh no!
So apparently Fish here decided to destroy the entire world with a Celebration MK2. Well, this is basically what I expected to happen, and probably what anybody should expect. I had thought that maybe my community would be gentle enough to the world to preserve it, and maybe do things as a group, but that's simply not how things work on the internet. But to be fair, plenty of people have different time zones, and it would be hard for those with all the time in the world to wait around for those who don't. And Terraria has so many destructive tools, a pretty linear form of progression, and has a limited world size that something like this is bound to happen. But maybe, if I learned more about how these servers worked, I could create a barrier to their progression and slow down their ability to beat the game. Maybe, I thought, I could make a world last an entire month. But that'll have to wait until next time.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We're only at around 4,000 subscribers, and I'm really hoping to grow this channel so I can continue to bring you more content and hopefully create more servers like this one for you. If you want to participate in any of the future servers I may host, you'll have to join my Discord server. Link is in the description. But thank you so much once again for watching.